advantage. Selmate jumps back in. PERKZ alive. There's the Monsoon. Selmate's going to go down. And the Monsoon just heals up them all. Reckless next on the menu. Only Nemesis left alive. And Caps is staring him straight in the eye and saying, come at me.
LEC Esports have gone 1-1 every single week this split, 7 times in a row. They play Fnatic and G2 next week. So statistically speaking, there's a 100% chance in prediction right now that either you or Fnatic are going to drop a game next week to XL.
I mean, XL does have like Joy Youngbuck, the 6-star general, so like he could pull some miracles out there, but I will bet Fnatic loses the game then.
Hello and welcome back to the League of Legends European Championship. I'm Jankos, continuing in the trend of musical casters. Someone has to be swapped every game or we're doing something wrong, so anytime you've noticed that there's been 2 consecutive casts without a swap, call us out on that. That's a production difficulty. Anyway, I'm joined by FLICKR, and Frost, this is a pleasant surprise for me. I didn't know I was casting today, now I get a cast with you, and on top of that, we get a cast for G2 XL.
Yeah, and there's a ton of stakes right now. Trevor already ran through them last time around, but I'll do the short notes for you. XL have to win here because Mad just took down Misfits, because otherwise they're then 2 points behind in the scoreboard. So you can see the lineup on your screen right now. It is do or die for the young UK underdogs, and they're against G2 of all teams, so Godspeed.
Yeah, this is definitely about the worst possible scenario that you could ever imagine. Hey, we're playing for our lives. Who are we playing against? G2. And now we're in the very interesting state that I think... Or
I present to you the best possible scenario.
And that was my next point.
Yeah, exactly. If you were going to pick any team that you had to face, it was like the must win. But for the other team, it doesn't mean anything. Who would you pick?
I mean, absolutely G2. I mean, I'd probably pick SK or Vitality before that, but right after those two, definitely G2 Esports.
So, you know, for all we know, this game could have been decided, I don't know, in a Magic the Gathering fight, in like a Mortal Kombat fight. Like, for all we know, like, XL and G2 already threw down, and now it's just extended into League of Legends.
And look, I can tell you from personal experience, G2 very good at both those games, but when they're playing both those games, they're much worse at League of Legends. So there's all kinds of hope a-brewing for the XL team, but you can definitely tell when we start to grasp at straws when we're talking about games that aren't League of Legends as the route for a team to win. So I guess we just have to see what form G2 comes in at, and it's kind of an irritating question, but it's one we have to ask so frequently just because it is G2. We don't know what form they're going to show up in, and as we enter picks and bans, we're going to have to keep our eyes on this draft to see if we find more wacky picks, if we see more of the Taliyah Thresh Pantheon trio, or what it's going to be. For now, it is the Aphelios standout, the Renekton, and the Syndra.
It feels like G2's signature move has just been playing a lot of comfort. You already mentioned the Taliyah down there. We saw it yesterday from G2 as well. And just to read off of Grabs' tweet, he said something like, oh, you know, I'm on delay. And then I hear Caps scream from the other room, woohoo! And then I see him later ride the Taliyah wall into someone's base. So we've been having some of those games. We were curious, like, what type of scrim version would we get of G2? We got the dominating one when they took down Rogue.
And now, once again, XL are in the camp hoping that this is the game where they're going to take it a little bit lighter. For now, though, it's the Pantheon, so it looks like it might just be full try-hard for the side of G2. A lot of 80 carries, limited, taken out of the pool, but interestingly, not the Misfortune. Instead, Varus Tahm Kench, a fast pickup for XL.
A very safe lane, usually when it's played in the LEC. Obviously, globally, this lane can be played for dive potential, just because of how aggro can be juggled with the Tahm Kench Grey health. But usually when you see XL pick it up, and when you see it in European League of Legends, it's traditionally kind of like the defensive lane pushing. We can now play around side lanes. So you have good swing potential with Tahm Kench to quickly get out into the side lanes when the game is opened up. Hold on, I'm not done yet. Because they obviously do see a Pantheon. So you see Pantheon, it's going to be zipping and zooming all over to side lanes. Now you got Abyssal Voyage to follow it. Now you may go.
Bard is a... Oh, I'm so happy. It's hard for me to come in like that because I just wanted to come in swinging. But anyway, Mikyx has now picked Bard. I ask him every week to play this champion, and he's finally done it. And I can't say that he's done it for me, which makes me very excited. He makes me very excited because this champion is, one, very good against Tahm Kench. They try to eat somebody, boom, you throw down the ultimate. That's a 2-for-1 special. You'll love to see it. On top of that, it's now paired with a Nico. So while the Pantheon may have said serious G2, I'm seeing brewy G2. They're mixing up something fresh for us. They got some kind of cocktail going on that we love to see. And on the opposite side, they're not the only ones, Frost. Everyone's trying something special. This is not a gin and tonic sort of game. Everyone's getting crazy here. This is a Long Island iced tea of a cocktail draft on both sides.
Oh, where is it gonna go? Is it Caedrel's champion? Is it Epect's champion? Are we gonna see it in the mid lane with Mikyx? Who knows?
This is...
Ross, if that doctor's in the mid lane, I'll be back.
Oh no.
Oh
In your
no!
background? Did he just shout into your mic?
No, he lives with me. He shouted from his bedroom.
Okay, that's wonderful. Well, we may see a brief presentation from Vedius on the strengths of Nocturne and why the champion's great, even if the players aren't always.
I wasn't upset seeing the Nocturne. I was upset knowing that I live with Vedius and that there was going to be no protection. That as soon as a Nocturne got locked in, I'd like hear the footsteps like as he'd sprint into the room. It's my time.
Of his little feet running down like it's Christmas.
It's Christmas. Nocturne's been picked. We can talk about some of these picks though. Nico, I really like and am now going to promote, shamelessly plug, the Freak Show. I think Freak does a really good job showing some of the number touch-ups, and it's kind of like picks to watch, except if Vedius had no hair and was strapped into his facial hair.
And did math.
And did math, and could do math and read. And Freak talked about Nico. Excellent series, recommend it. And Nico's been tuned up a little bit and finding her place, and I think she also works really well as a flex pick. Now, I still think it's going to be the AP Nico and not the AD Nico, although technically both of them did get buffed.
True, and I think this is something that we've seen flexed around a lot on G2 historically, back when it was really oppressive, sort of back in the MSI days before Nico and Rageblade got some serious nerfs on the W damage. Wunder was a master of the on-hit Nico, and as this draft starts to shape up, we have so far a lot of hard CC, a lot of chain CC setup, and for the enemy team that is, for the most part, pretty vulnerable outside of the Tom Kent.
Do it!
I'm a bit concerned for XL. That Zoe might have a good time, might be able to snipe a few champions out, but if she missteps, she's instantly dead.
Oh, I'm so excited to see a Ziggs. Yeah, Zoe, Nocturne, long range, yeah. But Ziggs, I think has been a champion that hasn't appeared in the LEC and really should have. He's been appearing globally. Obviously, he's a flex pick in the bot lane as well as in the mid lane. I just think his ability to throw down towers, to infinitely wave clear, what he brings to team fights, I love Ziggs. I love Ziggs with Qiyana.
Frost?
Yeah.
What am I looking at? did we? I'm sorry. People, they know, just to be clear for everyone at home, we didn't queue up for the Howling Abyss. This is not your dream ARAM comp. They picked these 5 champions.
It's Nico, Pantheon. I'm gonna say Ziggs, Qiyana Bard.
Qiyana Bard bot lane.
Yeah, it's Qiyana Bard bot lane. That's what you want to bet on?
I live.
Oh my god!
Okay, now we got a mount fight. Yes. Oh, this is a game of League of Legends. If you are. Tell your friends.
You don't have to win this one, right?
I don't care what happens. Tell your friends. Bring everybody here. This is a game you have to see.
Come on, let Caps play Qiyana. Don't do him dirty like that, PERKZ.
Oh, but imagine just the easy CC setup where you have a Ziggs knocking someone back and you get the free Bard Q, or vice versa.
I think an advantage of having Ziggs bot lane versus Qiyana in terms of Jankos' pathing is Jankos actually likes to do the Wolf start, Leashless start on Pantheon, and then hand over blue buff, so I would have liked it still more to have Ziggs there so we could get the early 5-minute blue. Now he's gonna take the blue buff for himself.
And now, I mean, the question for me immediately, Frostkern, is how quickly does this game get out of hand?
I mean, this game is already out of hand and we're not even
the game, the game is out of hand. How quickly do the champions leave their lanes to start killing each other? Because we have a draft where every single champion just about is set up to leave their lane and start killing people. Nocturne doesn't have a lane but has a semi-global. Malphite just wants to TP and ult somebody. We got Pantheon with the semi-global. We got Ziggs with the semi-global. Nico, not so much. But Bard wants to roam all the time, makes everybody a roamer. This is a game that is not going to take place in the laning phase. I predict a 5-minute laning phase at max. After that, everyone's out of their lanes, fighting all the time.
I mean, to be frank though, it has to be a little bit more than 5 minutes. I'm gonna say around 7 to 8 because Caedrel really needs access to his ultimate. Yeah, Nocturne has really good dueling potential if he kind of gets isolated. Like if you turn a corner and you walk into a Nocturne, he's able to get the fear off. I don't know so much about Pantheon though. I'm not gonna say definitively whether in the 1v1 Nocturne would beat Pantheon, but Nocturne actually is a really great duelist even before level, he doesn't need his ultimate to be able to do something on the map, but at this point, he really wants that one, so yeah, 5-minute lane phase, maybe for G2, for XL, they're looking more can we, slow things down until around 7, 8, 10 minutes, that'd be great.
And then you just have to pray. Because if there's anything that we've learned about this Pantheon jungle from Jankos, it's that he gets started as quickly as humanly possible.
I wish the match of the week would fall down here so I can see what the items are.
You need to know more about the match of the week, okay? It was a great game, and we're never going to stop talking about it.
Okay, so Jankos is obviously went for Talisman over Machete. Pantheon usually does more so clear through kind of like his AoE damage and taking down the AoE camps, although he is actually starting on his red buff. He's going to change up his pathing now. Jankos, Selfmade, and Caedrel were kind of the three junglers, Jankos in particular did a lot, that were doing the wolf leashless start into Raptors into Krug camp, because it was about farming your tiny camps as quickly as possible, getting them to respawn, rather than doing your big camps, which take a lot more time investment, force your duo lane to leash for you as opposed to getting immediately onto the wave. But Jankos is like, today it's about me. Give me the red buff first, give me the leash, and is now doing a traditional jungle path.
And look, you've got a Ziggs bard bot lane. So it's not like they're not going to get priority in bot lane anyway. So good that they're willing to give that up. Red buff obviously going to offer a bit more extra sustain too. So flexibility in jungle pathing, always good to see. We have Omni Stone for Mikyx. He's honestly straight rolled the perfect keystone for level 1 in the form of Electrocute. So that's RNG, please. But otherwise, look forward to this potentially turning into Predator every time he leaves the lane. Very weird keystone. Don't think it's ever objectively right, but it does feel like, good.
It's like the Russian roulette of keystones. It's like unsealed spellbook if you just really wanted to live that crazy life. Like that's how I feel about Omni Stone. We've seen it in LPL. It was played on Fiddle's support by JDG, I believe, and I feel like it's just this. It's like a. Is there no necessary keystone for the champion that I'm playing? Might as well. And you just kind of roll with the dice.
And it's so weird, because I've talked to Mikyx extensively about this, and usually he's like, into melee matchups, you take Hail of Blades, you know, because you can just slap, slap, slap really fast on a Tahm Kench. You can't really trade back, but I guess he's trying something spicy today. We're going to have to see what it does for him. Maybe he will just get those sweet Predator procs, but for now, honestly, this Varus is just smashing these trades. It's because Mikyx has yet to hit a stun. They can't really do anything in this lane. He's already out of mana. He's going to need to leave to grab Chime shortly, and sadly that Aftershock is not going to be huge in the fights to come.
And it wasn't going to be a 5-minute lane phase, it was going to be 3, but Jankos was sussed out by Mikyx. We got Mickey and Mickey in the game.
Ooh, be a tough one. Meanwhile, Epect is living his worst nightmare. They may not be on hit Nico, but since she gets to auto-attack for free against a melee champion, it might as well be.
Yeah, it's not going to be fun times for Epect. Now, that said, again, at level 6 is where things will really start to open up. We'll see what Epect actually itemizes for. Just went back and he grabbed the Doran's ring.
Just holding on, I guess, mana sustain. You just want to farm with Q. Body blocking with the clone. Not going to do a whole lot for Wunder, but he's happy to have that lane control. Can just back for free now. Won't really have to burn TP at this stage. And while Mikyx is trading back, he's burning through his mana incredibly quickly. So if PERKZ can just sustain up a bit, he should be fine. But instead, he's just going to take an early back here to get a bit more itemization.
And it's fine because at this point, Mikyx can't push the wave as quickly as he would like to, as multiple teleports have now been used across the board. It's something to always watch with Excel. I'm actually surprised that they only have 2 TPs. They're usually the type of team that come with like 6 TPs. But I guess with the Business Voyage, that one will count.
You know, it works. You take what you can get. And
it's just the fact that they're a slower moving team. I talked about earlier yesterday that they kind of have like very limited formations, if you want to think about it that way, comparatively to teams like G2 and Fnatic, who are much more fluid and flexible about how kind of they attack the map and what lanes that they play through. The example would be that like Torre never leaves Patrik's side. Of course, obviously this game on a Tahm Kench, like that's kind of his responsibility, but it almost doesn't really matter what champion Torre is on. Whereas if you look at a team like G2 or Fnatic, Mikyx and Hilly are almost never with Caps and Reckless. Reckless and Hilly in particular will constantly always separate, and that means that you're in a situation where you're seeing Hilly team up with Whippo or with Nemesis or with Selfmade, and you don't just see that fluidity and that flexibility with Excel. You very rarely will see Torre just teaming up with Caedrel or just teaming up with Epect.
Yeah, and in the same way that you talk about the Tahm Kench being indicative of the fact that Torre wants to stay around Patrik, the Bard is pretty much the biggest indicator that Mikyx has no desire to lane with Caps, that he's going to be the man to roam. Now, for now, he is staying in lane, he's holding as we do see Ziggs back, but looks like Epect might be in trouble here. Without level 6, he's very easy to dive, not going to do a whole lot of damage. The follow-up CC is there from PERKZ. First Blood, easy pickup for G2. Jankos is going to walk that one off with the Aegis Assault.
Yeah, and it was just textbook and very clean. Obviously, you want to make sure that Pantheon is leading the charge right there, making sure that he's grabbing the aggro so he can very easily deal with it as well.
Caps! Is going to get the Caretaker Shrine there. Patrik just trying to free fire a bit more damage, but Caps did just TP back into lane. Now, PERKZ is actually going to be the one who's caught out. Oh, there's nothing he can do. He gets a little sleepy. He gets taken out. Mikyx and Caedrel with a bit of revenge.
Really well done. You could tell that PERKZ knew that Mikyx was hunting for him, which is why he took such a weird path back into the lane phase. I'd love to see the replay to see what happened on the mini-map there, but, you know, for PERKZ to go over or to go around the blue buff there and Mikyx to be in that rush, like, PERKZ knew that Mikyx was going to be hunting for him, but good heads-up play from the duo of Excel.
They've shown a bit more flexibility in adapting into this one. Tori, though, out of mana. Patrik, they're actually controlling the lane very well.
They just want to give sight. If Caedrel can just instantly kill someone with his ultimate, that's really what he wants, which is why Jankos is sitting on the control ward here. He expects the Nocturne to be hunting for this ult. They're using Caps as bait.
Sidestep.
Oh no!
No, there's no way he gets out of this with the flash over the wall. He's just gonna give it away. The Ziggs! Caedrel still has the flash, but it's perfect because he makes it out to safety anyway. And now it's Patrik in trouble. Tori's getting taken out. Caedrel wants to do something here, but Mickey's actually the one who's gets traded. 1-for-1. Mickey, what were you doing? Now PERKZ is on the hunt though. The action just does not stop. PERKZ now going to go into the play. The stun is there. The Pantheon on the backside. Caedrel just has to run for his life. The fear not going to be enough. Caedrel with the spell shield, but it's too little too late. Jankos on a killing spree.
Oh, here comes the rock. No!
Sick.
Oh?
Doesn't connect to Sleepy Trail Bubble.
Connect.
They do walk away.
I think everything's calm right now. So again, Caps is being used as bait here. This is G2 like, they're just fishing. They know that Caedrel's here. They know that he wants the ultimate. The flash from Tori doesn't connect the tongue, but the arrow from Patrik did. Immediately Caedrel goes over the wall, and very cool play from Caps to try to use the explosive bomb to get over the wall. Caedrel is then forced to flash, does pick up the kill, and then, as you were saying, Mikyx goes forward when he really doesn't need to, and Patrik is able to also pick up another kill there.
Now you look at this one, and this is the good news for G2, is it was looking a little bit questionable there, but when they managed to get 2 on the bottom side, they give up Mikyx, it's back to being questionable, but when they grab this kill from Caedrel and they get away, it ends up being that positive trade, and now we have 1,300 gold lead for G2, 8 minutes into the game, and this is the point of the game that you said, Frostern, maybe now Excel can look to end the lane phase. Maybe now they can get out, they can use these semi-globals, but it might already be too late. When all these laners are starting to pull ahead, and when there's a 3-0-1 Pantheon looking to ult onto the bot side, Patrik run for the hills. There's no way out of this one. It's the lethal tempo Bard. He's chasing him down. The stun not going to connect though. Patrik just walking away, but it does not matter. Jankos cleans him up. Tori going to get locked up by the ultimate, setting up for the free stun. Timing doesn't even matter. He won't even go for it. Aftershock not going to need it. And Tori is going to get taken out. Nope. Oh,
they were trying to give it to Jankos. Meanwhile,
that was pretty awkward. Now Expect has to ult away, so... Well, we wondered what form G2 was going to be in, Frostgurn, and we thought maybe with this draft we were going to get a little bit of a trolling G2, a little bit of a light-hearted G2, and I can't say whether or not they're light-hearted, but they are absolutely dominating, and that is a big concern for the side of Excel.
It's just, so many of their champions have agency. Now Mikyx's going to rock up in here, flashes, doesn't connect that stun, that's fine. Walk it off. But, I don't know. As I was saying, it's because they have so much agency on all of this. You be nice to Mikyx.
He just flash Q'd. He hit the Q, the guy just wasn't next to the wall. I'm sorry.
It's a long distance.
He flashed in like he was the Fed Pantheon gonna do something. He's an 0-1-3 Bard with Aftershock.
It's fine. Agency. That's what I was talking about. It's the fact that G2 are on champions that can literally do whatever they want. They have so much mobility, they have so much power, they have a bunch of CC stacked everywhere. Like, the only person who doesn't really have agency is Caps on Ziggs. And that's really about it. So, they're just, they're mowing Excel over this map right now.
And the hose is already coming in from Wunder too, so just able to use that one to quickly clear out the wave. They're grabbing the Herald in the meantime, and Gold Leech is going to continue to grow. Excel doesn't even feel like they really got to start in this game. Caedrel still looking around the bottom side, trying to set up these plays. I like it. We are seeing the more aggressive side of the Vars Tom Kench when they try to use it to set up these dives, but it's going to be very hard to get anything done against Wunder. Lockup is
Just to use
there.
his decoy correctly.
Ulti can come out, but it's not going to happen. It's not going to work. Caedrel's going to grab that one. Tom Kench reset the tower aggro, and now XL have priority access to the bot side tower, but the Herald has already been channeled into the mid lane. A lot of gold going to go over to G2, and they can just keep this train rolling.
And the fact that they also have Ziggs with them, so yeah, we did get to see, like you were saying, kind of the more offensive side of Tom Kench and how he unlocks the potential for tower dives. I think that's what Excel have probably practiced, because this looks like a type of composition that you would practice a lot behind the scenes, is those types of dives like that. But unfortunately they lose out huge in the mid lane.
And Cap's just gonna swiggity-swooty his way out of that one.
He like high-fived Malphite as he went by.
Bye!
Just slapped him across the face like, you won't even do it.
I dare you. I dare you. Like, risk it. Fumble as I move through the Bard portal. It'll be worth it. But, yeah, Epect doesn't want to commit there. I guess now, like, the thing that's weird about this composition, Frostgarn, is it's like...
Which one?
The Excel composition. Like, G2's composition is weird, but it's working, so what am I going to say? Like, wow, they really shouldn't have picked this when it's every single champion's winning their lane. No,
you got
it's fine.
everything that you want. You got, even though you don't have an ADC, you still have great tower kill pressure because you have Ziggs as well as Nico. You have mixed damage everywhere. You have decent scaling and bridge options. You have great layering of CC. You have so much mobility. Like, while this is a weird composition in terms of you don't usually see these champions all stacked together, in terms of kind of like what you want out of your composition in League of Legends, you have all of that. The only thing that you don't really have is a true tank, but if you are able to springboard and snowball ahead of the clock, that doesn't necessarily matter. I think tanks become more increasingly important when, you know, games are really even and you need to have that big front line. If you can just like instantly kill someone because you have so much pick potential, then, you know, you don't need a big beefy boy to stand in front of you.
Yeah, and they have so much chain CC that if they do get a solid setup on the side of G2, it doesn't really feel like there's an opportunity for XL to interact. And this is why XL's comp is a bit odd to me. I think when you look at the Malphite, it's like maybe their plan is, hey, if G2 fumble, we can instantly turn. But otherwise, this comp doesn't scream Wombo combo to me, and maybe that's a narrow view of what Maokai can do, is Tori's going to have a narrow view on how long his life will last here on the bottom side. A bit too aggressive, there was no one in the belly there, just decided to serve out some catfish to G2. Going to be a bit questionable, but it will be traded potentially. Bard going to try to walk out of this one, the fear does proc. He zooms away, but for some reason manages to make it out of the portal, still goes down, and Mikyx now has to run for the hills. Kiana is going to find the kill, another one for PERKZ. This is an absolute mess of a fight, and Excel are continuing to get the short end of the stick. Oh, big ulti, and once again, Caps gets nothing for it, but will be a kill for Wunder as PERKZ continues to be on the hunt, tries to find the follow-up, misses, doesn't even need to hit his skills, misses 2 of the 4 abilities he uses, does not matter.
And this is kind of what most games have been looking like if you've been watching G2 recently, and why I still feel that they're such a cut above everyone else. When you have such talented individual players and you can draft compositions that are just kind of stacked with mobility, that team fights, they have changed the landscape. I'll hold it though, because here comes the TP. I think it's Epect. He does have ultimate.
Second TP
Going
as well. Wonder trying to make his way out of this one. That's going to be the twofer. The follow-up is there. Wonder has to run, but there's nothing left. Excel. It may cost them 2 teleports. It may cost them all the ultimates they can imagine, but they do get some vengeance onto G2.
And that's gonna feel nice, but kind of like, back to the point, it's the fact that G2 are so talented individually that they just split up fights. You don't get to 5v5 G2, and even if you did 5v5 them, you probably still don't want to do that either, but they'll like 2v2, they'll 3v3, they'll 1v1 you, and it's like, everything is in chaos and everything is scattered, and they will test you individually on your decision making and your mechanics, and you will slowly fail. Like, the levies will all break, and that's what happened in this team fight. It's like, the first one broke, the water rushed in, suddenly like Excel are ripped from the inside out, and everyone's just like, every man for themselves. Epect dies in this fight not using his ultimate. And that's kind of been the story of every team that's run into G2 recently with these very high mobility, skirmish-oriented competitions.
And here's the thing. I just hold that thought. Jankos is now getting engaged on this. Bad game for replays. Bardol's going to come down, going to deny anyone from getting saved by the Tom Kench. Here comes a big fat Nico wall, and that's going to be more than enough to take Malphite. I'll goodbye to Epect. Mikyx happy to grab that one. Torre just honestly next on the menu. We may be looking at a 20-minute game, because I don't see any hope left for Excel in this one. Caedrel with the snipe from the darkness. But now PERKZ is coming in on the backside. Nocturnal's going to be used, but he just gets punted right back into that tower, and one shot. Cap's finally going to grab a kill of his own, and while Mikyx has to run away, the flash done from Pantheon will attempt to seal the deal, but it is not going to be enough.
Mikyx with another flash.
What I wanted to say about that last fight was it's like there's so many small instances where G2 outplay, and it's just little things that add up. We saw like the Bard ult coming through to interrupt 2 people when the Nocturne wanted to come down, but I guess we'll look at this play one more time.
Yeah, so Jankos starts up this fight. He is incredibly fed and very powerful, so he has full confidence to do that. Then the rest of G2 file in via behind from Bard.
Yeah.
I mean, it's...
But here's where you gotta watch Caedrel.
Surprise!
Hashtag work. Type it in all chat, run! Type it in all chat and run.
I hope we at least get to see Mikyx's flash at the end of this as he tries to catch Mickey on the back of the Zoe R. Oh, come on!
It's like that Blitzcrank game. Was it at Worlds or MSI? I can't remember, where he missed every blitz. I'm sorry, Mickey. He had a good game. He's had some good ults. There's just also been some tragic moments as well.
Speaking of tragic moment, this is a tragic moment for Excel. It's literally a not like this type of game. You know, if you wanted to fall down, if you wanted to face G2, you wanted it to be kind of like blow for blow, hanging in there, kind of reorganize the game. But if Origin are kind of like what was the analogy that Trevor and Vetti's were using, the businessman, like everything needs to be coordinated and organized. To me, Excel are a very similar oriented team, and they're going against the team who just like ramrod their day with like one-on-ones and different meetings and like crazy stuff, and Excel just can't catch their breath.
Look, it's Office Space versus Mad Max. You know, like, I think we know who wins in a fist fight, right? Like, when it comes down to it, is it the guy, like, spray painting his own face and shouting for glory, or is it the guy sitting there like, ah?
They beat the crap out of that copy machine, though.
They did. Good on Excel, man.
That was Wunder in that last team fight. When Caedrel came out of the bush and just, like, killed the Nico, he's like, and screw you, fax machine! It's really awkward if no one's seen that movie.
Yeah, people are going to be really confused as to why you're talking about office supplies. But look, we're just
we're
working from home.
Like,
we really miss our copier. Let's just explain it that way. Just hope that our audience has seen the relevant movie.
I think I missed the age demographic. I need to go back to TikTok.
Yeah.
Oh no! Oh, Patrik.
Here comes Nocturne right to the backside. He's there, but the exhaust is there too, and that's going to be very not effective. Cap sends himself right back to the face of Tonkinch. It might not be intentional, but it also doesn't matter. G2. So ludicrously far ahead that they can do anything they want. And right now what they want to do is cancel an alt right into Patrik's face. Instead, he's going to have to settle for Torre, and Wunder will grab Patrik instead. That's an absolute shellacking. And there's just nothing left for Excel.
And he has the Rift Herald. Okay, that's going to be at least the top in him. Are they going to
try to get Dancing Rift Herald? Dancing Rift Herald?
They don't have the health.
I don't think... yeah, it will. It'll... Poor Rift Herald will kill it.
They can't.
It's there.
No, it's fine.
Fake Wunder.
I mean, I guess, okay, Silver Lining, I can reach for this.
Reach.
Because the top inhib is down, that now means that there will consistently be a farm lane for Excel.
Additionally, if Excel don't make playoffs, they'll have a lot more free time. That's Silver Lining.
That was also a low blow, so we take another look at this team fight.
This is it, Frosco. You don't come back from this.
The fact that Patrik took so much damage just from basically the long reach of Caps there on Ziggs, he's kind of like a Kog'Maw in this composition. You know, he's just like a little Gatling gun.
Watching this is painful.
I mean, this looks a lot like what happens to me in solo queue, so I feel for
we've been there. I mean, we've been there. I remember our duo days. We're doing fine on the bottom side of the map. Everything seems to be going well. We're playing Boris Tonkinch. It might not be fun, but it's viable, right? And then suddenly everyone's dead. And here we are.
To be fair, though, this bot lane is 2 and 10, so it is us.
Oh, God.
There was a lot of action there.
Oh! Here we go. That's the setup. Should be a free stun. Throws through. Doesn't get the timing right, but it does not matter. The follow-up is there. The Ziggs all coming in on the backside. Patrik somehow manages to live, and now they have no exhaust for Caedrel. But they're getting... Ooh! Shut down onto the Kiana. Clean flash.
Run!
He has no hope of getting away, though. He's getting chased down. That's a Predator Bard. He's just too fast.
Expect still has ultimate, though. Mickey... If he can land some of these bubbles, maybe Expect sets it up. He's trying to clear out the minions, wants to save the tower, and he dies for it.
You know it's bad when the Ziggs doesn't activate his satchel charge on you because he wants to kill the tower instead. Through. Clean stun from Mickey. Comes through the portal. Easy cleanup. Wunder now on a killing spree. Froscar in the last 5 minutes of this game have just been a G2 stun fest.
It feels like every team fight opens up, and Patrik doesn't even get to play these fights. He maybe throws like a single auto attack, and then he just gets blasted from downtown from Caps and Mickey's reach. And then like the threat of Jankos flying back, he just has to get zoned out of the fight, heal back up, and by the time he gets back into the fight, everyone on his team is dead.
He can't interact with any of these champions. Oh, Caps!
interacted with that one just fine.
Yeah, that was fine. That one's gonna work out. Mikyx now has to run. Make his way out of this one. Oh, that's a clean snare though. Follow-up stun is good as well. And now Jankos just gets to leave his face into that one. 12 kills for the Pantheon in this game. Absolute highlight reel for Jankos. Someone has to take this champion away from him. It is simply too strong. Mikyx's gonna throw down an ignite. He's going to run away as well, and G2 taking their time with the closeout. It's a bit too early for them to just walk down mid to close this one out. Have to give respect to the base damage on the enemy team. Otherwise, G2 are just going to end. One more good team fight should decide it. Tower taken out of the context for now. Wunder trying to find the follow-up, tries to get the stun as well on the ultimate, but the shutdown again for Caedrel. This man's stat padding. A lot of gold into the Nocturne, but
Where is
the
he
Pantheon ult. Face first into the enemy, and I think they're just going to attack the Nexus. Backing off. They want one more fight.
Like they're gonna auto-attack the Nexus.
Oh my god, big damage. They're ready for the fountain dive on this one. Caedrel's trying to get something done, but he just gets one shot the second he jumps to that back line. The aftershock crossing on Bard means Mikyx's unkillable. Now Tom Kench is trying to make his way out to safety, but he will get interrupted, and G2 gonna take the game. And I gotta say, terrible way for Excel's split to end. Sorry to see them drop out of playoffs contention, but when you get far enough down that you rely on beating G2 to make it into playoffs, things are not good.
And it was, again, a game that you didn't want to see it end like that. You wanted to see like a close, back and forth game, you know, Excel showcasing on some of like their signature champions, and it just felt like everything fell apart so quickly, and then it just turned into a bunch of skirmishes back to back to back, and things progressively got worse for Excel. I can't even think of, you know, any time I saw Epect ultimate. Like, outside of that single teleport down there, they never really got to use some of these big setup tools that they had on their comp, like having a Malphite ult.
Well, I think ultimately, when we look at it, it's just, there's just not, like, the second that Excel are in that position that you're talking about, where they have to make decisions on the fly, you talked about them a lot as like a set play sort of team. The second you're in that position, against G2 especially, like, I think you've already lost the game. Like, there is a chance always that you make the right decision, you make the right call in that moment, but 9 times out of 10, I'd assume G2 is the team making that right call in that moment of pressure. And I just don't think there's anything you can do as Excel in that moment.
It's also the fact that G2 don't allow you to breathe. They constantly force you to make consecutive decisions back to back to back to back, and Excel are not a team that have ever, excuse the pun, excelled in that moment.
Alright, well, your key players of the game are, looks like, Wunder, Jankos, and PERKZ, and when we come back, I believe we're going to have an interview with the winner as well, so don't go anywhere.
Keeping in as well. Double Charm's going to come out as Inspired flashes away from the damage there from Skeens. The shuffle in from Larson. Skeens gets his face broken in two.
Way too controlled, way too patient, but meanwhile in the mid lane, Hylissang's getting kicked off. The pullback, that's a clean combo! Fnatic put all the pieces of the puzzle together and come out swinging.
Rogue are very versatile. They can play multiple different styles. They have wide champion pools.
This was a team that I think was fairly unanimously expected to be like 4th or 5th, and they're quite comfortably there.
The number one takeaway is the fact that Fnatic are better in 2020 than they were in 2019.
Hi guys, welcome back. Laure here for an interview with Caps. Hopefully Caps, are you here?
Yes, I'm here this time.
Okay, you are staying this time, that's great. First question, very simple. I think everyone is wondering the same thing. What was this comp like? And explain something to me. Was it just for the sake of having fun, or is there really a meaning to this?
Well, I mean, for sure we want to be strong going to playoffs, so we're just trying out some different things, finding out what we really want to play going into playoffs. And I think this is like one of the comps that is a bit more crazy, but with our players, it feels like we can pull it off because everyone is confident and a lot of rare picks in the meta, and we just try to find picks that synergize with those champions as well. So it makes the comps look a bit crazy, but at the same time, it works out really well. So we're pretty happy with what we got.
Okay, and among these strats you're mentioning, I noticed something. With the game we had yesterday, you were playing Talia bot lane, and today you were playing Ziggs. We didn't see mages played bot lane in a very long time, and I mean, knowing you used to be a mid laner, it makes sense. But can you explain why we don't see mid laner as often as we used to do now on bot lane?
I mean, I think it's just awkward to draft a lot of the time. There's obviously the bot lanes are not as good as like mages, but also just like drafting a mage, you will need like 80 damage somewhere else. And also just fitting in like a mage is harder than just picking an 80 carry, which kind of just fits every game. So I think it's harder to pull off because you need to be a lot more mindful when you draft it, and you also need to play around it in a different way than you do normal 80 carry. So I think people are just not that great at it, I guess. And then if you're not good at it, then yeah, people won't do it, right?
Okay, so it brings a certain type of player and confidence to play mages on stage right now. I see. But last question about G2. You locked in playoffs officially yesterday, which was not a surprise, I would say. But I know you guys wanted to go for the perfect run, maybe in summer. We'll see. But do you have any regrets outside of losing 3 games so far?
Well, I don't know if I have any regrets. I think that's like strong word. I mean, I think obviously there's a million things that we did wrong and that we could have done better. But I think I don't think I have any regrets. I think we just learn from the mistakes we did, and we will just improve on them and do them differently going into obviously playoffs and hopefully MSI. So we'll just learn from the past. I don't really regret anything. I just try to learn from it.
Okay, and what can we be looking forward to when it comes to G2 in playoffs in spring?
Well,
do you feel like you're coming stronger than last year, for instance?
I mean, I don't know if we're stronger than last year necessarily. I think for sure we learned so much from FPX and just all the teams we played against at international tournaments and just playing with each other for like a full year. We learned so much about each other that we are at like a really high level right now. And I think going to playoffs, we will be able to basically take out everyone in the EU. I think best of 5 is where we shine the most, and especially now that we understand how each other work under like stress and under like circumstances in playoffs. I think we will just be much stronger than before.
And I'm really looking forward to seeing that. We have 1 week left before we go into playoffs. Thank you very much, Caps, for the interview. This was a successful one for this time, so yeah, thank you for sticking around. And we're gonna take a short break and come back in 3 minutes for the last game of the day, Fnatic versus Rogue. Stay tuned, guys.